And tonight on our program, economists warns of social unrest if government does not act quickly in dealing with a surge in prices of goods.
There is no intervention, conscious intervention, that is going to affect cost of living, that is going to affect people's livelihood. And once livelihood is threatened, becomes a problem. It may lead to social unrest and so on and so forth.
Price of maize shoots up astronomically across the Techiman Central Market. A bag of maize, which was sold at 160 Ghana cedis in July 2020, is now being sold at 375 Ghana cedis.
Last year, there is not enough rains. The rains race to the upper west, upper east, the northern side. That's the 1 point. And then when it comes to Bonahafo and then Ashanti region, most of the farmers now they are using their lands for cashew growing.
We travel to Burkina Faso and sometimes beyond, and this has contributed to the hike in prices.
Also ahead tonight, the first ever International Public Relations Day is being marked globally. We will examine the role of PR in building brands. My name is Darryl Kwao. This is Business Live. We will be right back. That was your look at the prices of major commodities as we end the week. Now, speak of prices, economist Professor Peter Quartey is warning of some social unrest if government doesn't act quickly to deal with the surge in prices of goods. Commodity prices and prices of building materials have witnessed some significant hike over the past month. Now, traders have attributed this to rising freight costs and recent taxes introduced by government. Speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Professor Peter Quartey, who is also the director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, said the media review presents a perfect opportunity to adjust some of the levies and taxes.
The details of what is in there, maybe the old taxes that are raking in the revenue, not the new ones or the new levies. We ought to know if they are what we term the nuisance taxes. We ought to know so that if there is a need to scrap them and look for better ways of raising revenue, because some of the taxes may affect businesses, and that can have repercussions on their production, on their employment, on even paying taxes again, or government revenue. So a review, in my view, will be very appropriate if there is no intervention, conscious intervention, that is going to affect cost of living, that is going to affect people's livelihood. And once livelihood is threatened, becomes a problem. It may lead to social unrest, and so on and so forth. So we should be concerned at this point, try and arrest the situation as much as possible. One way is to increase supply, whether domestic or imported. We have to increase supply of goods on the market so that we can dampen the effects of inflation.
All right, let's hear from President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, who says high freight charges are a major cause of the price hikes.
Yeah, we can definitely, we have to pass on the cost to the final consumer. But is that the solution? Because the consumer too, his purchasing power is limited. It's not that his purchasing power is also increasing along the price increases. So if they become fatigued, it also translates into our turnover and suppresses our turnover, thereby also leading to collapse of our businesses. we see this the causes of these price hikes on twofold. One is globally by the effect of the COVID, where world commodity prices have gone up astronomically high. If you look at copper prices before COVID broke up, the copper prices used to be 5,300 per ton. Now it has gone to 5,000. It has gone to 10,000. World metal prices and steel prices have all gone up. That's why the iron rods and other building materials has also gone up. PVC prices have gone up over 30%. So almost all raw materials that are used for production have gone up quite high, and thereby affecting our FOB prices. That's for FOB. And then the production of our goods itself is now prolonged. If you used to produce your goods within 1 month, now the factory will be tossing you. Sometimes it will come to about 3 months before the goods are produced because of some challenges in their logistics and all that. And then when the shipment is also due, it's going to take you sometimes, mostly from China, is about 6 weeks.
You heard the president of GUTA there, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Well, the price of maize, as we take you to Bono East, has increased astronomically across the Techiman Central Market over the past few months. Now, a bag of maize, which was sold at 160 Ghana cedis in July 2020, is now being sold at 375 Ghana cedis. That's more than double. Now, traders and sellers are attributing the hike in the prices to the scarcity of the commodity, coupled with the high transportation costs as traders travel to neighboring countries in search of the commodity. My colleague Anna Sabit has been engaging some of these traders and our reports.
Maize prices have skyrocketed to a record high here at the Techiman Central Market here in the Bono East region. A bag of maize, which is being sold at 160 Ghana cedis in July 2020, currently is being sold at 375 Ghana cedis. This, according to the traders here, is heavily affecting their businesses as they have to travel to neighboring countries to buy maize to be sold here at the Techiman Central Market. Secretary to the Techiman Maize Sellers Association, Nana Obri Yeboah, says the hike in prices is being fueled by two factors: the lack of rains and the switch to cashew plantation by farmers in the area.
Last year, there is not enough rains. The rains race to the upper west, upper east, the northern side. That's the 1 point. And then when it comes to Bono Hafon, then Ashanti region, most of the farmers now they are using their lands for cashew growing, and has left only small portions of lands. That's why here we don't have enough maize.
The hike has also affected a lot of these traders here, as some of them are currently out of business because they need huge sums of money to be able to travel to neighboring countries to buy this maize. So a number of them are currently out of business, leaving only a few who have enough money to be able to embark on these journeys. Da Emmanuel is the treasurer of the Techiman Maize Sellers Association. We travel long distances to get the commodity, and due to the high travel costs, some sellers are currently out of business because they can't afford the transportation cost. Now, if you don't have enough money, you can't travel to long distances to buy, and as a result, a lot of us are out of business. Aside the fact that these sellers go through a lot of struggles to get the commodity to sell, they also risk losing their monies to fraudsters and sometimes to armed robbers. Nana Manyakun shares what they go through with JoyNews. We travel to Burkina Faso and sometimes beyond, and this has contributed to the hike in prices. And we face a lot of risks, including armed robbery attacks. We are sometimes deceived by fraudsters, and when we get there, they run away with our monies. All these contribute to the hike in prices. They therefore call on government as well as stakeholders in the maize industry to come to their aid, but at least supporting them with loans which will keep them in business going forward. We need government's intervention, at least if we are giving soft loans to support our trips. The prices may be stabilized.
What we need
right now is a little support from authorities. We struggle a lot in search of loans. Though we have all the business documents, we still don't get any support, not even much. If we get some support, things may not turn out this way.
Unless government come in and import some maize to Ghana, so that the players of the poultry farmers and they can continue their work. If they all stop their work, then we are in trouble.
So this has been the situation here at the maize market, here at the Techiman Central Market. My name is Anas Sabit, reporting for JoyNews.
Let's make sense of all of this. Joining us is Anthony Morrison, who is Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness. Great to have you on our program tonight. And it's not just maize, is it? It just cuts across everything. What's your understanding of what's happening?
Good evening to your viewers and to your good self. I think that this issue has been happening over the past few months. Prices across board have increased. Last week, the chamber called for us to look at the price, food price index buildup, for us to actually put into proper context with a pandemic situation, what indicators contribute towards food prices. But in the issue of maize, we all do know about the challenges that the pandemic has brought in. Then again, the climate change, and also some uncertainties that, for instance, smuggling of or exporting of maize to other neighboring countries, and also hoarding, which a lot of people have hoard, and they are not able to release them just because they want prices to hike. So, or they've hiked prices so that they can make margins. That also notwithstanding the droughts, which would have brought in early maize, affected the maize and the grain output. So these are the current issues on the ground, coupled with the issues with access to fertilizer and good quality seeds that were not readily available during the early part of the planting season. Okay.
Talk about the smuggling of fertilizer. Today, the Daily Graphic reported that the Food and Agriculture Minister was warning about the future of the Planting for Food and Jobs program because of this issue with fertilizer supply. For instance, we are told that government has not been able to pay suppliers. And we seem to have these kinds of negative issues happening, and that eventually is impacting on the agri sector, which I guess a few months ago were patting on the back for the progress made. What are we missing?
Yes, we are missing a lot. First of all, is the way the Planting for Food and Job itself has been implemented. Yes, if you look at it, from day one, there has been this major concern of smuggling of fertilizers out of the country. And if we were serious state, would have put in measures to make sure that the smuggling stops. For instance, we can put in some digital system in each of these fertilizer bags that determines where these fertilizers ends. And at the end of the day, you have to bring this coin back to be able to procure another fertilizer the subsequent season. And some of these suggestions have been made available to governments, but governments have not taken them seriously. So you see tons of fertilizers being smuggled out of the country. Can you imagine a place like Sisala West and East? Government is talking about fertilizer subsidies have been banned in such a place where that area, for instance, grows a lot of maize for this country. So how do you expect the country to have enough maize to feed itself? You see, so we have a system that is in place that is structured in a way that we are not trying to make it or make any allowances for improvement. And farmers are always on the deck and call. So for us, we think that we need an overhaul of the industry, where Ghana's agriculture industry requires a serious revolution on its own. We need to look at it very well. India went through their green revolution, and it's working better for them. If Ghana have to go through their own version of green revolution within the agriculture sector, restructure the system, first of all, there are certain things we need to take care of. Agriculture is a business. It's not an area where we want to support or help farmers. All farmers must understand that what their engagements are is strictly business. So they should not expect subsidies or they should not expect freebies. You don't want to start, nowhere in the world you want to start a business and you expect something free. No. And government also needs to understand itself that their core mandate is to provide the externalities of the agriculture industry, develop the agricultural roads, access to road. It will blow your mind to go to some of the major agriculture producing zones and see that the roads are so deplorable. Not even the biggest articulator or the biggest truck or even an excavator can move there smoothly. You see, so we have major challenges across board, and we continue to provide free subsidies that these products cannot even make their way onto the market. And sometimes too, some of these challenges are so deep in the neck that even moving some of these so-called fertilizers to the farms becomes a major challenge. Some of the fertilizers don't even get to the farms at all. So we should find a way as a country to find a strategic system, demystify the industry altogether. I was telling someone that we need to deregulate the industry throughout, because there are cartels in the industry. Aggregators have bring on board their issues. The hot fertilizer importers have their challenges, and many other things. We need to deregulate the industry completely and make sure that we are able to bring in enough people into the industry that can streamline a number of activities that have to be done.
We'd have to leave it here. I think you've made important points tonight. And one more thing has to do with technology as well, and how we are using that to, fight issues of climate change, drought, and all of that. Thank you so much, Anthony Morrison. He's the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness. You're watching Business Live. Today is International PR Day. We'll be having a conversation about how PR is helping build brands right after this break. Welcome back, everyone. Today, the maiden World Public Relations Day is being marked globally. PR has played a key role in establishing brands and impacting societies. And, well, to talk to us about that is Chief Director at Global Media Alliance, Emma Winani. you know Global Media Alliance is into the PR business. And I hope that I got your surname right, Emma.
You did.
Ah, great.
You actually pronounced it quite well.
Oh, wonderful. Great to have you on the program today. So tell me about PR in Ghana and how we have evolved over the years and why this day is so important to mark.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on your platform, and good evening to yours. So I must say PR over the years has grown. In the past, PR maybe was not considered as important as it is today. We do know a lot of ministries and state agencies, and even our own GIG were the ones that were, teaching PR practitioners. But over time, the practice has grown. We see a lot of multinational organizations setting up PR practices. We see a lot of organizations identifying the need to have proper PR strategies in place, because at the end of the day, PR is about how you communicate to your stakeholders. And now you see a lot of institutions in Ghana, over 7, that are actually teaching public relations, and we have a lot of young people getting into the field. So I must say, right now, PR has totally grown, and we're proud to be associated with it.
What do you consider the major challenge facing PR practice here in Ghana at the moment, or even globally? I can talk about one, social media, fake news. May not be.
Well, I don't know if I would consider social media a challenge, but I would consider fake news a challenge. So let me tell you why I wouldn't consider social media a challenge. At the end of the day, we have to evolve. So social media has provided that platform for that evolution, if I say. But at the end of the day, it also provides that same platform where we can be able to identify what is the right news and what is not real news. So at the end of the day, when you see a breaking story, you and I know the platforms that we would be able to go to and see whether these stories are real. So then you can be able to change between fake news and just any news. The biggest challenge I would say that PR faces right now, perhaps, is still not many organizations understand the essence of having proper public relations strategies. The reason I use proper is that, PR is not just a press release. It's not just putting out communication out there about a brand and hoping that with this one single communication, you'll be able to reach all your audience. No, it's more than just one press release. It's the in-depth strategies. What are you doing to communicate with each of the different stakeholders? How are you communicating with the stakeholders? How are you using advertising? Which language are you using? So it goes deeper than that. And so that's why I would choose that challenge, the fact that not many organizations understand the essence of using proper PR strategies and wanting a one-fits-all approach. It doesn't work like that.
All right. Just 15 seconds, if you can. How are you marking the day at Global Media Alliance?
So Global Media Alliance is the leading, if I must say, PR agency in Ghana. And what we did, honestly, we wanted to have a very introspective day. So we shared successes of what GMA has done over the years, over 20 years of existence. We talked about what we've done with some of the companies we've worked with. We had some of the PR team members sharing short stories about their best and worst PR experiences and how they've grown over the years. And it's not just ending there. We also want to grow the next generation of PR practitioners. So we have gotten in touch with a couple of schools where we want to offer coaching and mentorship for these students.
I hope we have a conversation soon, another time. Great to have you on the program. That was Emma Winani, Chief Director at Global Media Alliance. And that's Business Live tonight. Enjoy your weekend.